Alrighty, let's get into our first power-up, which is going to be a triple shot. So the triple shot, when we fire using the space key or the left mouse click, we're going to shoot 3 lasers temporarily. So let's go ahead, the first thing we want to do, before we do anything, is let's go ahead and commit our changes from our previous lecture to finish up our shooting. Alright, so go ahead and click on the collab, and implemented shooting. We'll hit publish now. Alrighty. So how do we go about this? So what is a triple shot, first of all? So a triple shot, for what we're going to be doing, is if we just drag our laser prefab into the scene, essentially what's going to happen is we're going to have 3 lasers. Okay, we're going to have a laser shoot out here. We'll go ahead and say 0.88. We're going to have a laser shoot out there, and then we're also going to duplicate that by hitting Control D or Command D if you're on a Mac, and we're going to drag that to about down here to these little pistons on the left and right of our ship. Alright, and we'll go ahead and move Control D again, create a duplicate, and move that one to the other side. Alright, so this is ideally where we want our triple shots to spawn out of. Now if I run the game, they'll actually move straight up, and that's exactly what we want. Okay, so this is our position for the triple shots. So very similar to how we created our initial shoot, where we basically take the player's position and we add a new vector 3 with a modified Y. We're going to do the exact same thing. We'll be instantiating 2 other lasers, and you can give them modified Y positions like 0.06 and negative 0.5 on the X, and 0.5 on the X, and 0.69 on the other side. Ideally, you want them to be pretty parallel. So for instance, my position here is 0, Y is 0.88. On my laser from my right side, we'll go ahead and use 0.55 and 0.06 here. And then the second laser, or the left side laser, will be identical to that. So we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and make it negative 0.55 and 0.06, which is just fine. Okay, so that is the position I'm happy with. You should already be thinking about how to actually implement this triple shot. You're already familiar with how to create one laser shot by adjusting the Y position. So as we continue, what we're going to be looking at here is we're going to give you a challenge where you're actually going to implement this on your own, and you'll watch the challenge review to see how I would have done it. Alrighty, so we have the positioning for our laser triple shot. Let's get into actually creating this power-up. How is this power-up going to work? We're going to have an object that will spawn into the scene randomly, and what will happen is when that object spawns into the scene, we'll have it kind of go in a direction, maybe like we'll have it go down and to the right, or maybe, we can create some sort of behavior for those power-ups. But what's going to happen is when we create those power-ups, you're going to go ahead and be able to collect it, which means now we're going to introduce collision detection. And when you collect it, we need to notify our player that, hey, you just picked up whatever power-up we're working with. So it comes down to, first off, how do we know that our triple shot is enabled? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create the triple shot behavior, and then we'll focus on the collision detection and actually picking up the object in the coming videos. So what I want you guys to do as a challenge here is I want you to figure out how to make it so that when you hit the space key, you can fire out 3 shots. Now what I want you to do though is make it so that only when you have collected it, and we're going to simulate the collection part, and I'm going to help you out with that part, and then I'm going to let you go ahead and figure out how to create the triple shot on your own. So for instance, right here we're going to have a public variable, and the reason why this variable here is going to be public is because when you collect the power up, it needs to communicate with the player that you are eligible to do a triple shot. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to remove these comments up here. All right, so we have these variables here. Let's go ahead and create a public variable, and we need to know, can you triple shot? Or did you pick up the triple shot? It's a question, right? So we're going to be looking for a bool type variable, which is true or false. So public bool, we're going to go ahead and say, can triple shot. Okay, so public bool can triple shot equals false by default. And the logic is really simple here. When we shoot, this is your normal fire method. All right, this is typically what you'll do for your normal firing. And what I want you to do is check, okay? Check if can triple shot is true. And if it is, I want you to create, I want you to fire out 3 shots in those positions that we just showed. And if it's false, I want you to go ahead and use this original code. So I'm gonna let you guys figure out how to do that. And what I wanna show you in the inspector on how we would actually trigger this in real time is if we go back to Unity, and if you click on your player here, you will see that we have our, oh, my laser prefab is detached. Go ahead and drag that back in. Okay, you can see here we have can triple shot is true. It's false unchecked, and then as soon as I check it, it becomes true. So ideally what should happen here is when that is checked, you should be firing 3 lasers at once. When it's false, you should go back to just 1. So using our if statement logic and our else if statements, you should be able to create logic to check if that's true or not. I'll see you in the challenge review.